So this is just a real quick video giving you a heads up that I've made some new 11 rack presets. Didn't think I would, but what do you know, I actually did. Now there's not going to be any samples in this video. This is just to give you a heads up that they are out there for free download, and I'll explain a little bit about them. So first off, there are 228 new rigs, 456 rigs total if we include the mono versions. And whenever you pop open the folder that you download, you'll be able to see that. Pop in here, here's all our regular or stereo rigs, and then there will be a mono folder inside each of these subfolders. And of course, I've included our XML document so we can, load all rigs from computer, because who has time to load all these rigs one by one? You don't. So just come over here, load all rigs from computer, and simply choose your XML file for whatever pack you want to use. So these are metal rigs. The package name is hate, because what else is metal about but pure hate? So these are all named hate. I'll just go through the naming convention real quick. So first we have the name hate, of course, and then M2, so that will be our amp name, and then we'll have an equal sign or a dash. A dash means mono, equal sign means stereo output. So equal signs, we see here, stereo output. If it was, we come over here and load up the mono version, you can see that's mono output. So after the amp name, then we have the cab name. That's really easy to figure out. After that, we have the microphone name. And after that, we have a letter. N will mean on axis. You can see this one is on axis. And if I switch over here, this one is F. That means it's off axis. Of course, you could do that yourself, but I've saved you the trouble. Just, use the scroll knob on your 11 rack. Hop right over to the off axis version. So the amps used in this package, let me just scroll through them here. So we have the M2. We have what I call the MDR, which is the Mesodual rec. We have the Bogner Ecstasy. We have the SLO 100 and the SOD, the modern SOD. Then we have our MOD, or modern overdrive. Then we have what I call the JCM, which is the lead 800. Then we have the modern 800, which I call the J8M. And you may notice that the gain settings on these rigs are much lower than what I usually use, but don't confuse less gain with thinking that these are less brutal. These are just as brutal, and with less gain, we actually get a little bit more articulation. Another thing that you'll want to tweak besides the gain knob, which you'll definitely want to tweak the gain knob, is the presence knob. A lot of these rigs have relatively low presence settings just to keep down the fizz, and so they don't pop out too much in a mix. So mess around with that presence knob. I can really show you that in this SOD settings. Right here's our SOD, and you can see the presence is really low. It's like on 0.9, and the gain is like on 4.3. Okay, but it's still a really brutal sound. So moving on, we'll have a green overdrive on every rig with the same basic setting. Nothing crazy going on here. It's just controlling our low end a little bit, giving us a little more grind. Then what really makes these rigs sound like what they sound like is our Parametric EQ, where we sweep out some of that lower mid-end boxiness that really builds up. But if you don't like it, of course, you can come in here and adjust. You can also just turn it off. And whenever you turn it off, you'll get a more natural amp tone. Okay, so just turn it off here, right on your 11 rack editor, or of course, push the button on the 11 rack, just FX1, on, off, really cool. Moving on, we have our chorus and our flanger, which I put in a lot of different rigs. It just adds a little bit of width and depth to the sound that I like. Now, if you encounter some phasiness, again, real easy, turn them off. Real easy. It's not going to change the sound that much. I just like to have them on when I'm playing or riffing or working on a riff, just because it just sounds better to me. But if you're recording and you're getting phasiness, just pop them off. It kind of just really matters how you're going to build your tracks and how you're stacking them and whatnot. Of course, there's just a generic delay setting already set up. And of course, our reverb, just for some of that room tone. Once again, adjust it, turn it off, whatever. These are highly tweakable rigs right from the front panel here, right from our tone stack, right from the front of the amp, your amp knobs on your standalone editor, or right from the 11 rack itself. Highly tweakable rigs without having to dig in to all this stuff in the background. You can get all kind of different tones just by making little adjustments or even large adjustments to your tone knobs right here. So definitely tweak these rigs, because in my opinion, they sound pretty good, at least for metal, at least for what I do. Okay, so I think that covers everything. These are available for free, just as all of my rigs are, right on the 11rackusers.blogspot website. So go download them right now and make some brutal, hate-filled metal.